Can fasting help you to change your body image? I guess the only way you're going to find out is if you start to dabble and experiment with it yourself. But I'll speak from my experience. I 100% totally experienced an alteration in my body image. But I also did this knowing that a fast could do this for my body. Our gut microbiome is just a bunch of bacterial little entities. They're like little pets, bacteria in our gut that help us break down the food that we eat and utilize it for energy. So when we're constantly feeding these populations of gut bacteria, we have to think about them in terms of which ones do we want to feed, which ones are related to insulin sensitivity versus which ones are related to insulin resistance. A great book to look up after this video is called Brain Maker by Dr. David Perlmutter. I have his book Grain Brain. I lent Brain Maker out to somebody, I don't have it, but this book was great as well. It's all about how our food helps either feed our gut bacteria or basically destroys it. So I knew that by fasting, and Dr. Mindy Pelz is a great example of someone to look more into as well. I knew that I could outsmart the way that my brain was operating through fasting. So our good gut bacterial populations tend to be stronger and healthier. And when you decide to not feed them anymore, they go through sort of like a war within everything. A bacteria, its only job is to reproduce, basically reproduce, eat, reproduce. That's it. And so these bacterial populations, when the food gets scarce, the strong win. And so our good gut bacteria usually win out in a fast. It is a matter of the population that you hold, and it also is a matter of, are you eating your full nutrient profiles before you go into the fast? Because I'm very in tune with that. If I'm going into a fast, I'm going to prep by eating higher sources of animal protein, which has the full amino acid complex, so that I can give my body what it needs, so that I can feel good when I'm going without. But this is the number one reason why I started fasting to begin with. It was all about my mental health. It was all about outsmarting what was going on in my body. I knew I was facing insulin resistance. I knew I had unhealthy populations of gut bacteria because I was really constantly craving these hyper palatable ice creams, foods like Ben & Jerry's, the Ben & Jerry's ice cream, the brownie one. Oh my God. I was addicted to this ice cream. There were other things like the Pacino's, frozen Pacino's. I was addicted to these highly sugared foods because of the gut bacteria that I had in my body constantly nagging me, creating a scenario where they just wanted to be fed and feel pleasure. And we know the dopamine pathways do the same thing with these foods. So they're basically drugs. And so I love fasting because it is the easiest way to change your biochemistry. It is the most affordable way to change your biochemistry. If you're older, I've been talking to a lot of people who've said, it's just, exercise is so unfamiliar to me. I haven't done it in so long. It's not a part of my life right now, so it's really, really hard to get into. But even if it is hard to get into, you don't have to go to the gym and start lifting weights. I do think that's your best investment in terms of exercise, because muscle is battery packs, energy battery packs for the body, and protects us and feeds our brains. But you can start fasting, you can start eating your full profile of amino acids first, and then going through a fast. Feed your good gut bacteria, and then lay off and try to let those bad bacteria die. The way that you will view your motivations toward exercise will change because you're changing your gut bacteria intentionally. And you're going to be feeding into the cycle of producing more insulin sensitivity, and you're going to be feeding good gut bacteria that are related to a lot of melatonin release and all these other things that cycle into the picture. So that's why these highly processed foods I try to stay away from. I'm very metabolically flexible though. If there's something that I want to enjoy, I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it. There's no reason to skip dessert. It's not something that I have every single night. I know I've been friends with people in the past who said I have a very strong sweet tooth. I just need to have something sweet at night. And that's true, I know. But you could also look at it as like, I have an addiction. I'm addicted to these really pleasurable foods. My dopamine centers need this at night. Otherwise, I'm going to feel unfulfilled. But when you give your body what it needs, when you feed those healthy bacteria in your microbiome, you will feel different. You will see the world differently. Not only that, if you're feeding your brain for a healthy state of insulin sensitivity, you're going to be less likely to have any of these chronic diseases, neurological diseases, metabolic diseases, and hopefully, you know, you'll feel a lot better. Like, again, your body image will change. The way that you see yourself will change. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So I hope that you have the opportunity to do something like that, to practice being your own biochemist, to feel those changes like I did, and just feel a lot better. You know, every day is not a cup of tea, but, you know, when the sun's out and you have the foods that you need and a safe place to be, you know, it's really a good time. So I don't know where I was going with that end part, but I hope this video was helpful for you. As always, like, share, and subscribe if it was, and good luck.